Alright everybody, into our last video here where we're going to be creating something with it. We're going to work with our spaceship class and just kind of add some things onto it. The things I want to add is, first of all, I want to be able to create a bomb class, and I'm going to use that class within this spaceship class. So I need to create this with some specifications. It's going to have damage, it's going to have speed. Let's see, there's a few other things I want to have in there. Yeah, we're going to create like a bomb kind of appears on the screen, it's going to be able to fall. And I won't really again, I won't code every part of this of making like fall and do damage, but like we could certainly add that in there. So let's see. Yeah, and then we'll be able to create a bomb inside the spaceship class. That's going to create the bomb object and then return that back to probably into the main into the app class. Yeah, and kind of the app class will kind of store the creation of bombs, adding those to an array list, and handle all the movement kind of inside of that. But, alright, so yeah, let's get started with this. I need to make a new, so first things first, I need to make a new, I made one in the wrong spot, bomb.java, close this one, and, actually, you know what, first things first, same as I've done everyone so far, I want to go into here, and I want to just copy everything into here, because these kind of, whole point is that we can build on top of these. And then, okay, so I have my bomb class. In that down here, let me show you what I want to have in here for my bomb method. I'm going to be able to, I need to create a bomb, what I call it, create bomb, make bomb. And what I need to do in here is, I think whenever I create a bomb, yeah, that's all I really need to do. But I do need to return, yeah, so I should be able to like, create a bomb and then return whatever I make back to the main class. Anyways, alright, so inside bomb, let's see, what do we need to have in here? First things, I need to make sure that I import JavaDraw. I need to import java.util, get access to my array, just in case. Maybe I don't need that, but I'm going to just import it anyways. Alright, then what I say, I need my bomb needs to have speed. I'm going to make a speed variable. What I say, it needs to have a damage. I'm going to pause this for a second while I get all these variables up. Alright, so it looks okay to me. This is going to be my speed, my damage, my shape, and then I need to make my constructor for this, public bomb. And I'm going to say that, the other thing I need to have in here, of course, if I'm going to do anything with JavaDraw, I need to have access to a screen. So whenever I create a bomb object, I am going to need to have access. Someone's going to need to give this bomb access to the screen. So if you kind of think about it, like the screen is getting passed into the spaceship class whenever we're constructing a new spaceship, and we're taking that same screen variable and we're passing it into the bomb class so it can have access to it too, so it can also draw on the screen. Yeah, and then what do we need to do? And then we said, okay, we just need to say like whatever the speed is going to be. I'm just going to make it just kind of generic. It's just going to have like a default damage or default damage, default speed. I'm going to say speed's equal to 10, I guess. The bombs fall faster than the spaceships are going to move. Damage is equal to 5. Again, like I feel like there's so much more I could do with this as far as like making an actual game where the bombs are going to fall, drop, and do damage. But I'm kind of just showing you, again, I feel like reiterating, just kind of showing the overview of how this could work, and then you can take it further and do something more creative with it than what I'm doing. And then for shape, I'm just going to make this a new oval. One thing I want to do, I'm going to make a size for my bomb. I'm going to say size to begin with is 5, but then maybe I could mess around with this later. Let's see, the other thing, when I make my bomb, it's going to go on the screen, and I also want to have it created at a certain location. So I'm going to pass that in as a parameter too. And hopefully you can start to see kind of how I think through these things and, think through and kind of start adding in parameters. I need to be able to know where this is going to happen on this, where it's going to appear on the screen. Oh, okay, that needs to be a parameter. And then here, this should create us a new bomb that's on the screen. So this should be doing most of the kind of setup work. And then I just need to be able to move the bomb. And so in this case, I'm going to go into my shape. I'm going to have it move it, and I want to have it move nothing in the X, and I just want to move it by whatever its speed is. Okay. So now I have a bomb object created in here. Looks like I didn't end up using it, so I can just delete that for now. Inside of my spaceship. Okay, now I have my create bomb, so I'm just going to say bomb is equal to new bomb. I'm going to pass in the screen, and I want to pass in the center of wherever my spaceship is right now. So I'm going to do ship.get. One, if you remember from last time, that's like the body of the ship. And then I want to actually access its center. Oh, it's going to be fancy. This is going to get me a location object. That's the center, so it's going to have both X and Y. And then what I'm going to do is take out just the X part of that. So this is going to get me the value for the x coordinate for the very center of our spaceship, which is kind of cool because we want the bombs to be created in that spot. So let me just make this a variable for now. It's called like ship center is going to be equal to this. Okay, so then we're going to pass in a new screen. Actually, you know what? I forgot that I want this to be a location. So actually, let me do this. Let me make a location. And then actually, instead of getting the x value out of this, let me just delete this. So this is going to get the x and y value for the center, like kind of packaged into location object. This will get us an x and y value kind of packaged into location object. That's the center of the ship. We're creating a new variable, new location variable here. And then I want to pass it into my bomb. I think that's it, right? The bomb doesn't need anything else to kind of get created, right? Just the screen and the location. And now I just need to return bomb back to the user. Alright, so having said that, we kind of did all this. Now it's like, okay, well, how would we actually use that? So for me, first step, I need to go through into my actual code. Let me just kind of pull out this the stuff that I was using before. I'm creating my fleet. I have my while true loop. Let me get this initializing the fleet, doing the while true loop. Just get this whole thing in here. And, I'm going to get the mouse down here as well, so we can make some spaceships and add them to that. So again, just using some of that previous code in here. And now what do I need to do is, let's see, so I'm having the spaceship move. I think what I'm going to do here, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do something like, I'm going to have the spaceships randomly create, oh yeah, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say, I want, like, half the time when we call this loop, I want a bomb to be created, and I want it to start to drop. So what I need to do here is, like, okay, about half the time, so I'm going to say, if map.random, so that's going to generate a value between 0, a decimal value between 0 and 1. Say if that's less than 0.5, so if it's a random number less than 0.5, which happened about half the time, I'm going to say ship dot make bomb. So now I'm looping through my fleet, accessing ships, I'm moving them, and then I'm also checking, well, 50% of the time, maybe let's even lower that down, like 30% of the time, the ship is going to make a bomb. And then what I need to do here is I need to actually store this. I'm going to make a separate array list for bombs, and we'll call it very creatively bombs. And bombs is a new array list. And then let's see, what do we need to do? We're going to create the bomb. We're going to do bombs.add whatever bomb we make from the ship. Okay? And now also another thing I need to do here is like, okay, for any bombs, bomb, and bombs, bomb.move. Okay, so we said, hopefully, kind of following through on this, every time we look through the ships, we're going to have like about a 30% chance that the ship is going to spawn a bomb. The bomb is going to get added to an array list full of bombs. And then we're also going to loop through all of those bombs in there and move each one. And we'll see kind of how this is going to work. Again, I feel like there's so much other stuff we could do, but like just, I don't know, we'll keep reiterating the same thing, but let's see here. All right, good. So we have our ships going, and the bombs are coming out kind of, yeah, it's kind of interesting. About 30% of the time might be too much. But you can kind of see how they're creating those bombs. Like, there's so many other things we could do with this. I mean, obviously, one thing I'm not doing here is I'm not deleting any of the bombs off the screen, or, so that's probably something I should clean up in here. Yeah, and, I mean, I'm not doing any damage. There's a ton of things I could do here, but hopefully this is kind of a proof of concept of how this could work, how you might incorporate this into your own project. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the creative things that you're going to do with this, and hopefully this provides, like, a good foundation for the actual game that you're going to make.